Okay, hello innovators. In this lesson, you will be able to write evidence statements. So in the last lesson, we analyzed the evidence that we had in our evidence organizer to then work backwards to create claims for our body paragraphs. And then we combine those claims to make a thesis statement for the whole essay. So today we're going to take what we did and actually turn these little jots for our evidence into actual evidence statements. So an evidence statement turns any quick jots that we put into our organizer into well-developed sentences that meet 4 criteria for success. The first one is it is specific, second, varied, third, explicit, and fourth, paraphrased. The first criteria for success is it's specific. So that means you turn the jot into a full sentence that includes the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. So now I will show you what that looks like. In my informative essay outline in the last lesson, I quickly copied and pasted a quick jot about whatever evidence supports this claim. So I went ahead and put in a note to myself that I need to include the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. So I'm just going to plug these things in. Well, I already know the who is the monsoon family. Oops. Now I'm going to go back to my evidence organizer to look for the what, the where, the when, and the why. Well, I know the what. I know that it's migrated. The monsoon family migrated. And I'm going to go back to my evidence organizer, look for the where, the when, and the why, and just plug in that information. And I have it not there. Here it is. From Reno, Nevada to Saudi Arabia. So I'm copying, I'm pasting, I'm deleting the capital because I'm making one sentence. Reno, Nevada to Saudi Arabia when in the year 4025 in the year, and then I'm going to add the why, which is the push factors and the pull factors. So when I start with a when or a why, I'm going to say because Reno was about to burst into flames and a magic genie popped out of the sky and granted them 3 wishes. So now I have a full sentence, which means I can take out this jot that I made, and now here's my evidence. The monsoon family, the who, migrated, the what, from Reno, Nevada to Saudi Arabia, that's the where, in the year 4025, that's the when, because Reno was about to burst into flames and a magic genie popped out of the sky and granted them 3 wishes. And there you have it. I have a full sentence now, which means that my body paragraph is about a third of the way done. The next criteria for success that we have is that it is varied. So that means any other evidence jots also need to include the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. But you want to switch around the sentence structure. Avoid sounding like a robot. So what that means is for my next piece of evidence, which is about the Kryptonians, instead of doing who, what, where, when, why again, I might move around the sentence structure to be the why, and then the what, the who, and the where, when, who, what. See, so I just kind of moved the who, what, where, when, why around. And now I plug in. And I can use transitional phrases like due to. Now I'm going to go back to my evidence organizer, look for Kryptonians. I found it here. Due to difficult to find work. I'm going to rephrase that. Due to not finding work, and let's see, what's the pull factor? Earth had many jobs, plus a genie, due to not finding work, and a genie being present on planet Earth, comma, now who? The Kryptonians, so I'm copying and pasting. The Kryptonians, I already know what, it's the same thing every time, migrated, now where from, check my evidence organizer, Krypton to Earth, from Krypton to Earth, and now when, and then my evidence organizer says 2022, and now I have a full sentence. So we do this so that we can actually write full sentences, much like an essay. In the year 2022, period. And there you have it. I can delete this part. Now I have my 2 sentences, okay, of evidence. Next criteria for success is that it is explicit. So this is one that can be kind of challenging, but is really, really important. To be explicit means that we assume our reader knows nothing. When we write informative essays, we have to assume that whoever's going to read our writing knows absolutely nothing. If it helps, imagine that a baby or a child is reading your essay. So we're going to add more context. Our reader has not read the sources that we read, so we need to say more. So we're going to turn that one sentence into 2 or 3, whatever is necessary to teach your reader. So I'm going to go back to my outline, and though I did a really good job writing a full sentence, I'm going to just add more context. So this could be from memory, or I might need to go back to my source if I forgot, or I might need to consult with my partner. In any case, I'm going to turn this sentence into more than one. So let me see what I got here. The Monsoon family migrated from Reno, Nevada to Saudi Arabia in the year 4025 because Reno was about to burst into flames and a magic genie popped out of the sky and granted them 3 wishes. If someone read it, they might be like, wait, what? So I'll just do this. The Monsoon family migrated from Reno, Nevada to Saudi Arabia in the year 425, period. I'm adding more information. A terrible event occurred in which, I remember from my reading that a fireball shot down from Mars. I'm not making this up. Well, I am, but I learned it in my source. And flew toward Earth. Notice I'm also just making my writing a little bit more interesting to read. Period. Reno was about to burst into flames, putting all humans in danger. And then this part, and a magic genie popped out of the sky. This is not enough information, so I'm going to add more context. Thankfully, a magic genie approached and offered all people in Reno 3 wishes if they left. The people of Reno accepted this offer and decided to migrate to, where was it again? Saudi Arabia. I think this might even be a good opportunity to say how, because for those of you that don't know, Saudi Arabia is an actual country over in Asia, and Reno, Nevada is just next to California, so your reader might be confused by that. So I'm going to say The people of Reno hopped on, hopped on a rocket and traveled there in 30 minutes. Now obviously you guys know that this is fake, but for my modeling purposes, I am demonstrating how I added more context so that my reader is not confused. And I added more context by remembering what I read about in my source or even going back to that source. Voila. And the very last criteria for success, and probably the most important one, is that it is paraphrased. This means you're making sure that these are your words and not copied from the text. You might have to go back to the source to be sure. So here's a little anchor chart of what it means to paraphrase. Put it in your own words. Avoid copying the text. Rearrange similar text. Ask yourself if you included all the important points. And here's an example. If I was reading a text about Willy Wonka, and this is what it said, notice how we turn some of the words in the original text into our own, but still keep the same meaning. Here in the orange, the original author wrote famous. I'm changing that to be known throughout the world, which means it's the same thing as famous, but it's my words and no one else's. So by doing this, I make sure that I am my own original author and I'm not copying anyone else's work. If you want to know a little bit more about how to do this, or if you're doing this well, please make sure to raise your hand or to ask me in class when you see me. And one last time, here's our criteria for success: specific, varied, explicit, paraphrase.